The spotlight is a cruel thing. It illuminates the fantasy just as brightly as it exposes the wreckage. For years, Ariana Grande carefully crafted an image of dazzling, romantic resilience, culminating in a lockdown romance that seemed untouchable. The quiet, secret marriage to Dalton Gomez. The images were breathtaking. The Vera Wang dress, the intimate Montecito setting, the palpable relief that perhaps, after years of high-profile heartbreak and public scrutiny, Grande had finally found her peaceful, private anchor. It was the celebrity fairy tale we were all desperate to believe in. But fairy tales, especially in Hollywood, are always written in sand. The world watched in shocked silence as the picture-perfect marriage dissolved in real time, replaced by a storm of controversy that has stained her meticulously polished career. This wasn't just a breakup. This was a messy, high-stakes collision of two collapsing marriages, a turbulent event that quickly became known in the headlines as the double divorce. It involves legal dates, strategic silences, the production set of a multi-million-dollar film, and a series of timeline overlaps that demand forensic investigation. The narrative offered to the public, that the marriage simply faded, is incomplete. It obscures the painful reality faced by those left in the wake of the split, most notably the scorned spouse of her new partner. Tonight on Starlight Remains, we are going beyond the soft-focus Instagram posts and the carefully worded press statements. Our thesis is simple yet profound. The double divorce is the most significant, image-altering scandal of Ariana Grande's career. Not just because a marriage ended, but because of how and when it ended, dragging another family into the turbulence. We will unpack the timeline of events, from the rush to the altar to the fateful project, wicked to uncover the truth about the invisible split that began long before the public knew, and the true cost of her sudden quest for freedom. This is the story of the double divorce, unpacking the timeline of Ariana Grande's most turbulent controversy yet. To understand the sudden, dramatic implosion of Ariana Grande's marriage, we must first revisit the unusual circumstances of its inception. The whirlwind romance with Dalton Gomez felt less like a carefully considered partnership and more like a necessary sanctuary during a global crisis. When the world shut down in 2020, Grande, perpetually surrounded by the chaos of superstardom, found unexpected quiet with Gomez, a high-end luxury real estate agent who operated firmly outside the toxic spotlight of Hollywood. This was touted as her salvation, a grounded, stable connection far removed from the dramatic public relationships that had defined her past. The key word here is grounded. Dalton Gomez represented normalcy. He was handsome, successful in his own right, and crucially, seemingly unfazed by the global magnitude of his fiancée. For an artist who lives life in extremes, this stability was deeply attractive. They married quickly, privately, in May 2021, less than a year and a half after they began dating. The narrative promoted was clear. This was an intimate love, reserved only for them, shielded from the relentless noise of the internet. Yet, this very sanctuary became its own prison. The swiftness of the commitment suggests a desire to anchor herself immediately, perhaps confusing the profound temporary solitude of the lockdown with genuine, long-term compatibility. The challenges inherent in their union were vast and, ultimately, insurmountable. Grande's reality is one of private jets, global tour schedules, and microscopic scrutiny. Gomez's world was one of multi-million-dollar property deals and measured professional anonymity. As the pandemic receded and Grande's career engine roared back to full throttle, the inherent incompatibility became glaring. Grande began filming the massive, year-long production of Wicked overseas. Gomez was left behind, navigating the increasingly bizarre reality of being married to one of the world's most recognizable women while still attempting to maintain a regular professional life. Sources close to the couple repeatedly indicated that Gomez struggled intensely with the constant demands of Grande's life. Imagine being a successful, private professional, suddenly having your every movement scrutinized, your photographs sold, and your life story speculated upon in tabloids and on social media. The privacy they cherished during the lockdown dissolved the moment they stepped back into the post-pandemic reality. The contrast was stark. Grande was fulfilling her lifelong dream of playing Glinda in London, soaring professionally. Gomez was fundamentally displaced, struggling with the geographical distance and the crushing weight of her fame. This separation, first geographical and then emotional, began to create a fissure that no amount of private text messages could bridge. The stress on Gomez, reportedly, reached a breaking point. While Grande may have valued his normalcy, she could not protect him from the extraordinary nature of her world. The romance, born in the quiet isolation of a global health crisis, could not survive the deafening noise of real life. The foundations of their marriage, built on a temporary oasis of calm, proved too shallow for the volcanic pressures of superstardom. The fairy tale was running out of pages, and by early 2023, the first silent, crucial cracks had already appeared, long before the public noticed the missing wedding ring. This initial detachment sets the stage for the dramatic, public overlapping that was about to unfold on a film set thousands of miles away. The production of the massive two-part film adaptation of the musical Wicked was not just a career milestone for Ariana Grande. It became the central vortex of her marital controversy. Relocating to London for an extended period, Grande immersed herself completely in the role of Glinda, entering a professional bubble that was entirely separate from her life with Dalton Gomez. It was in this hyper-intense, creatively charged environment that she met her co-star, Ethan Slater, cast as Boke. At the time, the parallel lives of the two actors could not have been more striking. Both Grande and Slater were married, seemingly happily, at least according to public optics. Grande was with Dalton Gomez, and Ethan Slater was married to his high school sweetheart, Lily J., with whom he had recently welcomed their first child, an infant son. This detail is not peripheral. It is crucial to understanding the public vitriol that followed. Slater's commitment to his wife and new family was often highlighted on his own social media, painting a picture of domestic bliss, even as he embarked on the biggest professional opportunity of his life overseas. The proximity of a long, emotionally demanding film shoot often fosters intensely close bonds. Actors isolated from their partners and immersed in a fictional world frequently lean on their co-stars for support and understanding. In the case of Grande and Slater, sources suggest this professional camaraderie quickly intensified. They were sharing similar life stages, navigating immense career pressure and managing long-distance relationships. But they were also navigating them together in the London bubble, far from the realities of their existing spouses. The narrative of work romance is a Hollywood cliché, but when it intersects with established marital timelines, it becomes a severe ethical complication. Whispers began circulating internally on the Wicked set long before the public heard anything. These rumors suggested an undeniable chemistry that was crossing professional boundaries. Crucially, the geographical separation that was slowly fracturing Grande's marriage to Gomez simultaneously created a vacuum that allowed a new, intense connection with Slater to flourish, unobserved by their respective partners back in the United States. It is important to emphasize that for months, the relationship, whatever its exact nature, was kept hidden from the broader world. This required an active effort of silence and discretion from both Grande and Slater, even as their relationships back home were entering critical decay. The set of Wicked, meant to be the launchpad for Grande's next act, instead became the backdrop for the dissolution of two marriages. The project that symbolized her professional dream ironically became the source of her most significant personal nightmare, setting the stage for the crucial date that defines the legitimacy of the double divorce, the invisible, official moment of separation in February 2023. This specific time frame, February 2023, is the most critical and ethically complex moment in the entire double divorce controversy. It is the moment the official legal timeline begins to diverge sharply from the publicly perceived reality, forcing us to ask where fidelity truly ends and where the new chapter begins. When Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez finally filed for divorce in September 2023, the documents contained a crucial, concrete date, the 20th of February 2023, listed as the official date of separation. This date serves as the legal demarcation line. It signifies that, for the courts, the marriage legally ended just days after Valentine's Day that year, meaning the couple had been separated for 7 months before the news finally broke. This legally established timeline is the foundation Grande's team relies upon to counter the narrative of infidelity. They can technically argue that by the time her relationship with Ethan Slater was confirmed in the summer, she was legally separated. However, the reality of February 2023 is far murkier. We must examine what was happening simultaneously in the lives of both couples. While Grande and Gomez were officially splitting, both Grande and Ethan Slater were heavily invested in the Wicked production and, according to various reports, had developed an exceptionally close bond. The timing suggests that while Grande's marital status was transitioning from married to legally separated, Slater was still outwardly married to Lily J., the mother of his infant child. The key question that fuels the public's anger is, when did the emotional separation truly occur, and how close was it to the burgeoning relationship on the set? Sources familiar with the situation strongly indicate that the deep connection between Grande and Slater began months before the July public reveal, placing its genesis squarely in the early months of 2023, the exact period when Grande's marriage was legally dissolving. This overlap, even if Grande was technically single according to her own legal filing, creates a significant optics problem and raises profound ethical questions about the nature of emotional boundaries, while both parties were still married to others. Crucially, Ethan Slater did not file for divorce from Lily J. until July 2023, almost 5 months after Grande's official separation date from Gomez. His wife Lily J. reportedly had no prior knowledge of the depth of the connection between her husband and Grande. For her, the split was not an invisible legal separation, but a sudden, brutal public revelation. This disparity in timelines, Grande's separation in February and Slater's split and new relationship becoming public in July, is the reason this entire event is labeled the double divorce. It implies that the end of one marriage, Grande's, may have been hastened or influenced by the beginning of another relationship, which subsequently triggered the end of a second, more complicated marriage, Slater's. This crucial invisible split in February established the domino effect that would eventually lead to the public firestorm later that year. The invisible timelines of February were violently thrust into the harsh glare of the public spotlight in July 2023. This was the month the tabloids officially confirmed what had long been whispered on the set of Wicked: Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater were officially dating. The impact was instantaneous and devastating, creating a shockwave that rattled the foundations of Grande's public image and turned a private divorce into a massive public controversy. The revelation carried the weight of a double betrayal. First, the public lost the narrative of the stable, private marriage Grande had championed. Second, and far more damagingly, the details emerging about Ethan Slater's circumstances painted Grande not as a woman moving on, but potentially as a key player in the painful dissolution of a family with an infant. This is where the scandal transcended typical celebrity gossip and entered the realm of moral judgment. The most potent fuel for the public's fury came directly from the scorned spouse, Lily J. While Grande and Slater maintained a strategic silence, J broke it with an agonizing public statement. She told Us Weekly that her family was simply a casualty of the romance. This wasn't the soundbite of a bitter ex. It was the raw, painful accusation of a mother who felt blindsided and minimized. Lily J specifically emphasized that her priority was her son, but her powerful quote, implying they were simply collateral damage in a celebrity's pursuit, resonated deeply with the public and cemented the homewrecker narrative Grande's team desperately wished to avoid. In the face of this intense scrutiny and emotional accusation, Grande and Slater adopted a calculated strategy: absolute, unwavering silence. They refused to comment on the nature of their relationship's start, the specific timelines, or the emotional turmoil they had allegedly caused. They focused solely on the Wicked production, often appearing together in public but never addressing the elephant in the room. While this strategy protected them legally and allowed them to continue their work, it was an optical disaster. For the public, silence in this situation read not as discretion, but as guilt and a lack of accountability. This silence directly contradicted the vulnerable, emotionally open persona Grande had cultivated throughout her career. Where she usually addressed controversy head-on, her detachment here suggested a powerful insulation from the consequences of her actions, an insulation that money, fame, and a powerful legal team could afford. The public fallout was swift and severe, transforming the discussion from a simple celebrity divorce into a complex moral debate about power dynamics, ethics in the workplace, and the heartbreaking reality faced by the non-famous spouses left behind. The revelations of July proved that the split, which began invisibly in February, would have a very visible and painful toll on everyone involved. The culmination of any high-profile celebrity breakup inevitably focuses on the financial terms, and in the case of Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez, the divorce settlement was a masterclass in strategic wealth management and privacy acquisition. For someone of Grande's colossal net worth, the goal of the divorce was not merely to end the marriage, but to do so with the utmost speed, minimal public noise, and maximum protection of her intellectual property and image. Fortunately for Grande, the existence of a robust, ironclad prenuptial agreement became the ultimate shield. This document, signed before their 2021 wedding, essentially predetermined the financial outcome, eliminating the need for prolonged, contentious legal battles that would have inevitably dragged personal details into the public record. Without the prenup, a divorce from a short marriage could still be financially debilitating for a superstar, but with it, the process was streamlined into a quick, decisive transaction. The specific terms of the settlement, which were agreed upon in October 2023 and finalized in March 2024, vividly illustrate the financial cost of Grande's sudden quest for legal freedom. The headline payment was a tax-free, one-time lump sum of $1,250,000 to Dalton Gomez. This massive upfront payment served a dual purpose. It eliminated any need for future spousal support, alimony, and it acted as a significant incentive for Gomez to agree to the terms swiftly and amicably. When one party has the means to make the separation painless for the other, it often guarantees cooperation. Beyond the cash payout, the settlement included other key provisions. Grande agreed to pay up to $25,000 of Gomez's attorney fees, further smoothing the path to finalization. Crucially, their shared Los Angeles home was slated for sale, with the proceeds to be split 50-50 after the $6 million mortgage was paid off. For Gomez, this represented a substantial financial cushion as he transitioned back into a life outside the celebrity orbit. However, the most valuable term of the settlement was not monetary. It was the ironclad confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement, NDA, that was built into the divorce decree. Both parties are strictly barred from giving interviews, writing books, or cooperating on any publication concerning any aspect of their marriage. While this confidentiality clause applies equally to both, its primary function is clear: to protect Ariana Grande's public image by ensuring that her ex-husband, who holds intimate knowledge of the breakdown, remains permanently silent. The substantial financial compensation essentially purchased his absolute discretion. In effect, the financial finalization cemented the end of the fairy tale with a clear message. Grande was willing to deploy her immense wealth to control the narrative of the double divorce. The settlement ensured that while the world knows that the marriage ended, the truly sensitive, potentially damaging private details of why and how it ended, especially those relating to the crucial time period on the Wicked set, will likely remain sealed behind a legal and financial wall of silence. The investigation into the double divorce, unpacking the timeline of Ariana Grande's most turbulent controversy, yet ultimately reveals a complex pattern of strategic detachment, geographical separation, and deeply painful chronological overlap. What began as a hopeful, private pandemic romance between a superstar and a real estate agent devolved into a public relations disaster, fueled by the swift end of Grande's marriage and the subsequent, highly scrutinized, and painful dissolution of her new partner's family life. We have established the critical juncture of February 2023, the invisible split that legally separated Grande from Dalton Gomez, even as the emotional bonds on the Wicked set were undeniably tightening. We have analyzed the massive financial investment, the $1.25 million payment, and the extensive NDAs that Grande used to secure a clean, quiet, and legally shielded exit. And we have reviewed the profound public fallout, driven most fiercely by the voice of Lily J, which transformed this celebrity divorce into a defining cultural conversation about accountability and the powerful imbalance between the famous and the non-famous. The narrative of Ariana Grande has always been one of reinvention, moving swiftly and stylishly from one chapter to the next. But the legacy of this specific controversy is more stubborn. Despite the financial finality and the return to work, the stain of the home wrecker label remains a formidable challenge to her carefully constructed image of romantic innocence. The silent strategy, while protecting her legal standing, has cost her dearly in public goodwill. The question that remains is whether the commercial success of her forthcoming projects, including Wicked, can truly overshadow the turbulence and emotional cost of the double divorce. Ultimately, this is the price of living life under the intense magnification of the starlight. Nothing truly private remains hidden forever. What do you think? Has the controversy permanently altered how you view one of pop music's biggest stars? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to understand the full story behind another celebrity relationship that crashed and burned just as spectacularly, click the link on your screen now for our deep dive into the shocking life of Taylor Swift. Thank you for watching Starlight Remains.